is up, my pretties? It's the Lion Queen here. Welcome to episode 284 of Shadows and Pretties. So, last episode I reviewed was It from 2017, and today we're going to be reading part 2 of It 2017 called It Chapter 2. This movie came out in 2019, which was a few years ago, and this takes place after Chapter 1. Of course, we got the actors who played the adult versions of the Losers Club, and we also have Bill Skarsgård who turns to be Pennywise. So, anyways, the film in this, like the year that this movie is in 2016, 27 years after the events of the previous film, as the story centers on the Losers Club and their relationships as they try to destroy it, or Pennywise, once and for all. So, anyways, this does have all the casts that were playing the younger versions of themselves, and in this one there is, flashbacks of them, of the Losers Club when they were kids. While they were kids, they have flashbacks of what happened with them in the past and stuff. So this one has a lot of great cast, as we do have obviously Bill Skarsgård, who is Pennywise. We also do have the original casts from the It Chapter 1. They played the younger version of the Losers Club. We got uh, James Convoy as Bill Denebro, or William Denebro. He was a pretty good actor. We also have Bill Hader as Richie Toiser. We also have Jessica Chastain as adult version of Beverly Marsh. So, yeah, I mean, this one involves a lot of flashbacks of them as kids, so you're going to definitely see a lot of that once you have the chance to see this movie. It is a pretty good film. I mean, I love how this is a continuation from the 2017 It movie, which is really cool. And the It fandom did kind of rise a little bit when this came out, but not as big as the 2017 did when that was going around. So, I guess with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and, give the plot and detail about what this movie's about, in case for anybody who hasn't watched it in a really long time, and for those who would want a refresher. And this is based on the Stephen King book It. And of course, this is directed by Andy Walter Muschietti, who did the It Chapter 1. So I guess we should begin with the plot of this. So let's say that the plot begins, it takes place 27 years after its initial defeat from the first movie. Pennywise returns to Derry, Maine in 2016. He kills a man named Adrian Mellon after he and his boyfriend brutally assaulted by a homophobic teens, following a carnival that was going on nearby. And I'm going to say this, like I said, you're going to see a lot of major changes that this movie did, as well as It Chapter 1. Now, if you look at it from 2017, you could definitely say it's definitely the actors have aged a little bit, because this movie takes place a few years later. So, anyways, we're going to definitely say that right now that this movie is definitely a really good one. It is a pretty good one. I really do like it. It's a really great film. So, and I'm going to say right now, if you watch the 1990 It movie, you're going to be ready to see a lot of changes just when you see It Chapter 2 too, because you will see there's a lot of major changes. This movie goes more into depth, just like the first chapter, it went more into depth than the 1990 It movie. So, Mike Hanlon, who is the only member of the Losers Club who remained in Derry, calls the other members, such as Bill, Ben, Beverly, Richie, Eddie, and Stanley, to honor the promise that they made 27 years later to kill Pennywise if he ever came back. All of them return to Derry except for Stanley, who kills himself out of fear of the creature. At a Chinese restaurant, Mike refreshes the losers' memories before Pennywise reveals itself the exciting news of Stanley's, death to them. Richie and Eddie decide to leave until Beverly reveals that she has psychic visions of their deaths, and they would if they should fail to fulfill their oath. In the meanwhile, it kills a young girl named Victoria at a baseball game after luring her in the trap. Yep, Pretty much like what happened with Georgie, but except the girl does not get killed in the storm drain. At the library, Mike shows Bill, via drug-induced vision, that the Native American ritual of Chod can stop it for good. Mike explains that all the ritual requires them is to pass to be sacrificed. After explaining, Bill goes to the storm drain where Georgie was killed, where Georgie was killed. Basically, in It Chapter 1, taken back from that, and recovers his paper sailboat. Beverly retrieves Ben's love letter from her childhood home before being attacked by it in the form of a demonic elderly woman named Mrs. Kirsch. Richie goes into an abandoned cinema where he collects a game token, and he encounters Pennywise in the park, who confronts him on his hidden, well, you can definitely say right now, his sexuality, which Richie, we all know Richie's gay in this one as well as the first chapter. He is gay. Most of you guys should know that by now. And there is this song Pennywise sings about about truth or dare. He's like, I know your secret, your dirty little secret. Oh my goodness. Of course, we see Ben returns to the town's high school while he was arrested for killing his father. Well, not father. I mean not Bowers. I'm talking about Ben. Why did I go to Bowers so quickly? So Ben returns to his town in high school while Eddie recovers an inhaler from the pharmacy, gets attacked by the leper. Meanwhile, Henry Bowers, who was arrested from killing his father, is freed from the mental hospital. That's when Bowers viciously attacks Eddie at the Losers Hotel before attacking Mike at the library. Henry nearly kills Mike, but Richie impales him before he has the chance. So the losers all rejoin Bill, who just failed to save a young boy from Dean from being eaten by Pennywise. Like Pennywise, you know, ate Dean and the young boy in this little funhouse in the carnival scene because Pennywise was in this funhouse and he was like looking at one of the mirrors and he was like banging his head so much and you could see that, the boy's scared and while Bill's trying to save him, Pennywise, I'm surprised he didn't get a headache and I kind of wonder if Bill got a headache when he did that scene. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he had a migraine after doing that. And when the glass, you could definitely see the glass over time starts cracking. Eventually it shatters when Pennywise has his sharp teeth and then bites the boy. Oh my god, that scene had me jump, but it didn't scare me to be scared of clowns. Obviously it didn't. So eventually they go to the Neil Bolt house and they convince him not to face it alone. However, with their memories fully restored, the group descends into a cavern beneath the sewers, with Mike providing a rock from the losers' fight with Bowers' gang. They perform the ritual in the remains of the meteor that brought it to Earth, and the ritual traps the deadlights, its true form, in a sealing jar. But a giant red balloon emerges from the jar and explodes, revealing its enormous Pennywise spider hybrid. So the creature pressures Mike into revealing that it killed the natives originally performing the ritual because their fears overtook them. The fact that Mike had hidden from the Losers Club, it attacks the losers and places Bill, Ben, and Beverly in individual traps, which they have escaped once. Bill releases his guilt over being indirectly responsible for Georgie's death, and when Beverly realizes Ben was the one who wrote the love letter to her, Mike stands up for the creature, only almost gets eaten. However, Richie manages to distract it, only to get caught in its deadlights in the process. Eddie eventually saves him, but he gets fatally impaled by one of its claws. A weakened Eddie explains how he made him feel small earlier by choking the leper nearly to death. The losers confronted Pennywise on how they overcome their fears, and they're no longer scared of entity, causing it to shrink to small, weakened Pennywise. Mike eventually rips out its heart, which he and the losers crushed it with their bare hands. Finally, it kills them. Well, kills it. So Richie and the others rush back to Eddie, but only Eddie has died from his injuries. Richie still believes that he can still be saved, but the Losers Club have dragged him away from Eddie's body, leaving it behind in its cavern implodes, destroying the Neil Bolt house once and for all. So the remaining losers return to their old swimming area and wash off from their confrontation with it, and joins hands to comfort Richie as he mourns for Eddie. Its demise had also caused the scars on their hands to disappear, and after the losers part ways, Ben and Beverly get married. Richie returns to the kissing bridge where he had once carved his and Eddie's initials, Mike decides to move out of Derry and start a new life. Bill begins writing his new story before receiving a call from Mike as he leaves Derry, learning that Stanley had sent them posthumous letters. The letters reveal that Stanley was too scared to face it, and that his death was intended to strengthen his friends against it. His last words in the letter indicate that they will always be the losers. This is actually one of the most brilliant, well made sequels to It Chapter 1. I mean, when I saw this for the first time in theaters, it was mind blowing. It was really good. It was well made, awesome, detail, and it's just flat out amazing. So I can definitely say that right now that I recommend you take a look at this movie if you haven't. If you've seen It Chapter 1, I highly recommend see It Chapter 2. You will not be disappointed. It is brilliant. It's a great sequel. I personally really liked it. And I mean, when It Chapter 2 was going to be out, however, though, the thing I can definitely say is that, well, of course, like I said before, there are flashbacks of the Losers Club back to 1989 when they were still kids, so they get flashbacks here and there. However, though, this honestly was one of the best ones I've ever seen. And however, the film was beginning to be made in June 19th of 2018 at Pinewood Toronto Studios, and the sewer system was set to construct at Pinewood, while the actual grate is located in North York. So honestly, this was honestly a pretty good movie, and the film was concluded early in November of 2018 after 86 days of production. So honestly, the music is pretty good. Honestly, this was just as good as the first one. I mean, when It Chapter 1 finally came out, I honestly really liked it. And I really hope that It Chapter 2 was going to be pretty good. And of course, It Chapter 2 was a really well made. I mean, I love how they made Pennywise, did some CGI to make Pennywise, the spider form in that one scene, the last fight at the end. Honestly, that was pretty epic. I'm not going to lie. I mean, the graphics of it is flat out amazing. The characters did a great job. I'm really glad that Bill came back to play Pennywise. Honestly, he played the best Pennywise next to Tim Curry. I mean, I don't know who else would play just as good as Pennywise, but Bill Skarsgård, he nailed Pennywise. Like, I honestly really liked the spider form that he had, and honestly, that was pretty epic to see, and I do like the fight at the end. What did I honestly think of this movie if it could have been better? Well, I can't see anything that I did not like about this movie, but I could definitely say there's definitely a lot of changes compared to, the 1990 It movie. I mean, there's a whole lot of changes that this movie did. It's still a pretty good movie. I personally for me, I personally for whatever reason, I like the second chapter just as good as the first chapter, but I like the first chapter better though. For whatever the reason may be, I like It Chapter 1 a lot better because I like this first one. But this one, it's just as good. I mean, I can definitely say it's a really good movie. And if you're a Stephen King fan like myself, if you like clowns, and if you definitely liked It Chapter 1, I definitely recommend you guys check out It Chapter 2. You will not be disappointed. You will definitely like it. I am going to say right now, you're not going to be disappointed once you've seen it. It's a really great film, and I have to say it's a really great sequel, a great continuation. Now, with all due reality, I like the choice of cast for that they have played for, the adult versions of the Losers Club. Like, I really like the interesting and great choice of cast. I especially love the actor for Richie G, Bill Hader, James McVoy or something as Bill. I did like Jessica playing great as adult Beverly Marsh. I'm really glad they have flashbacks of their childhood selves, back from 1989, like the flashbacks from that year back when they were kids. You get to see that a lot in the film, which honestly I thought that was really awesome. It's got really great well made concept of the story. The plot line was just as good, and I definitely really loved this. However, I preferred the first chapter, but this one did just as good as that one. So you can definitely say right now that it is one of the best remake sequels I've ever seen. Now, on that note, I have been hearing stuff about It Chapter, der- well, 2 being one of the best ones. I mean, a lot of people really like this one just as much, but some people prefer the first movie. I prefer the first chapter. I mean, I like the first chapter, but the second one is just as good. I mean, I like the first chapter more because I really like that one. This one was pretty good too. So you could definitely say there's definitely a lot of stuff I really do like with this. I mean, it's awesome, it's well made, it's pretty good. So I can definitely say right now that there's a lot of great concept with this story. So I really have to say right now, I can definitely say I really recommend this movie. I mean, I'm really glad that they got the actors who originally played the kid versions of the Losers Club to come back to do these flashbacks. That is, I can definitely say, I can really definitely appreciate that Stephen King's It, 1990, 2017, It Chapter 2, the book, is one of my reasons why I love Stephen King and his novel work. He's awesome. So, I do know that Stephen King was in there playing a cameo in this second film of It, Chapter 2, which I honestly really have to say that was very awesome. It was so great to see it. So, is there anything else I have to say that I did not like about this movie? No. I don't see anything why I don't like this movie. I could definitely say I like the first one better, but this one was just as good. I could definitely say it was pretty good. So I guess with that being the case and that being said, I'm going to sit here and just wrap up this video. And I will say right now that, yeah, this is just simply my own personal opinion. And if you disagree with me, that's fine too. We're all entitled to our own opinions in regards to these movies. This is just simply my own personal thoughts. If you if you like it, chapter 1 better than this one, that's fine with me. If you don't like this movie, that's fine. If you like it, let me know what you guys think in the comments below because I personally would like to hear what you all guys like to see. So, I guess with that being said, if I am missing anything, please let me know what it is in the comments below because I personally would like to hear what you all think. So anyways, I am the Lion Queen. I want to thank you so much for watching today's video, and if you're new to my channel, be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you're new. Ring the bell for notifications to when I upload so that way you guys will not miss an upload. And as always, if you happen to, want to go follow me on Twitter, link to my Twitter account will be in the About page section of my channel. Also, if you guys want to go follow me on DeviantArt, link to that will also be in the About page section, so you guys can go follow me on DeviantArt if you want to. Also, if you are interested in subscribing to my backup channel known as Miss Dark Shigo, link to that will also be in the About page section, so you guys can go check it out if you want. So as always, before I end this off, if I am missing anything that I did not mention in this chapter, well, in it chapter 2, in this movie, in this review of an episode, let me know what it is in the comments below because I personally would like to really hear that. So, yeah. Anyways, yeah. Like I'm always going to say, I'll be seeing you guys all in the next video. Feel free to let me know what you guys think in the comments below of this story. And as always, if I'm missing something, let me know. And as always, I guess with that being said, I'll be seeing you guys all in the next video. Peace out, and like always, I'll be seeing you all in the next video. Peace out.